Took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
Yesterday, all over our social media pages, Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy.
Yikes.
She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse.
Y'all, when this news hit, it was like a bomb went off in Tinseltown. Steve Harvey, the man we all know from Family Feud and daytime TV, has reportedly been cooperating with the FBI following Diddy's arrest. I mean, can you even believe it? The king of mustaches and moral advice might have been tangled up in something seriously shady. Now let's rewind a bit and set the scene. For years, there have been whispers about Diddy's private parties. We're talking A-list celebs, hush-hush gatherings, and more secrets than a teenager's diary. But guess who was apparently a regular at these soirees? That's right, Steve Harvey himself.
And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
I know what you're thinking. Sophie, surely not our Steve, but honey, the tea is piping hot and it's spilling everywhere. These weren't just your average Hollywood shindigs. According to insiders, Diddy was playing a whole different game. He wasn't just throwing parties, he was collecting dirt on his so-called friends. We're talking hidden cameras, compromising positions, the whole 9 yards.
With very, very serious and salacious allegations, including allegations that Combs had cameras throughout his home.
Now, here's where it gets juicy. Apparently, at one of these parties, Diddy caught Steve on camera doing something he shouldn't have been doing. And let me tell you, whatever it was scandalous enough to keep Steve in line for years. We're talking major blackmail material, folks. But Diddy didn't stop at just having dirt on Steve. Oh no, he allegedly used it to his advantage. There are reports that Diddy blackmailed Steve for years, demanding favors and even a stake in some of Steve's business ventures. Talk about a friendship gone sour, and brace yourselves because it gets even wilder. There are whispers that Diddy's demands didn't stop at business deals. Allegedly, he wanted something even more unthinkable. Lori Harvey, Steve's own stepdaughter. Now, I know that sounds like something out of a soap opera, but in Hollywood, truth is often stranger than fiction. There were even rumors swirling that Lori and Diddy had been romantically involved at one point. Both of them denied it, of course, but you know how these things go. Where there's smoke, there's usually fire. Now, you might be wondering, Sophie, why didn't Steve just walk away? Why didn't he go public sooner? Well, honey, when you're dealing with someone as powerful as Diddy, it's not that simple. Steve had built an empire around being the charming, wise, funny man everyone could relate to. If that footage ever got out, it could have been game over for his career.
You know, I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in the jail.
But it doesn't stop there. Some sources claim that Steve wasn't just Diddy's victim. He might have been his accomplice too. There are allegations that Steve used his influence to help Diddy solve legal issues, make connections, and even launder money through his businesses. I know, it's hard to imagine Mr. Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man getting mixed up in something so shady, but the whispers are getting louder by the day.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those 2 raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
And here's a twist that'll make your head spin. Some say Steve actually benefited from this twisted arrangement. There are rumors that he used Diddy's connections to secure key business deals and enjoyed the perks of being in Diddy's inner circle. We're talking luxury trips, exclusive events, the works. It's possible that Steve was reluctant to walk away from all those goodies.
Housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, to include leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3 staff members escorting them.
But as they say, all good things must come to an end. When Diddy's recent legal troubles started brewing, Steve saw his chance to jump ship. When the FBI started investigating Diddy for a laundry list of charges, including racketeering and corruption, Steve knew the jig was up. He had 2 choices: go down with Diddy or flip and cooperate with the feds. And honey, Steve chose to save his own skin. Now Steve's trying to paint himself as the victim in all this. He's reportedly told the FBI that Diddy coerced him into doing things he never wanted to do. But let's be real. Was Steve really just an innocent bystander, or was he playing both sides all along?
That's not the issue. The issue is, it seems as though he wants to kind of like exert power and dominance over people who don't really want it.
The real question now is, what happens next? Will the public forgive Steve once more details come to light, or is this the scandal that finally brings down his empire? It's hard to say, but one thing's for sure: this story is far from over.
Now, so what is next? Is he going to be in jail in this facility until the trial begins? Is there a chance he could, get moved earlier than that?
As of this moment, as of this hour, as of today, yes. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be appealing this thing next to the 2nd U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn the judge's order here to try and get him actually released.
Now, let's not forget about Diddy and all this drama. His situation is going from bad to worse faster than you can say, "Can't nobody hold me down." The charges against him are piling up, and he's facing a long legal battle that could result in some serious time behind bars. We're talking corruption, conspiracy, and who knows what else. Oh, but here's the thing, besties. Steve Harvey isn't as squeaky clean as he'd like us to believe. Let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? Steve's built his brand around family values and moral principles, but his past is riddled with more scandals than a telenovela. First off, let's talk about his wife, Marjorie Harvey. Before she was Mrs. Steve Harvey, Marjorie was involved with not 1, but 2 major players in some seriously shady business. Her first husband, Jim Townsend, was convicted and sent to prison for trying to move a large amount of illegal substances. He even admitted that the authorities had enough evidence to implicate Marjorie, but he made a deal to keep her from being charged. Talk about dodging a bullet. And as if that wasn't enough drama, after splitting from Townsend, Marjorie went on to marry another big player in the same shady game, Donald Woods. So when Steve married Marjorie, he wasn't just getting a wife, he was getting a whole lot of baggage too. But Marjorie's past isn't the only skeleton in Steve's closet. There have been rumors for years about how he treats his employees and those who work for him. Some former staff members have painted a picture of Steve as a controlling, demanding boss who's quick to fire anyone who crosses him. Remember that infamous letter he wrote to his staff a few years back, basically telling them not to approach him unless absolutely necessary? Not exactly the warm, fuzzy image he presents on TV, is it?
That this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
And let's not forget about those persistent rumors of infidelity throughout his marriages. Nothing's been confirmed, but where there's smoke, there's usually fire, right? Some insiders claim that part of the reason Steve has worked so hard to maintain a spotless public image is because he's terrified of the truth coming out. If his fans found out that the man who's built an empire on family values had skeletons in his closet, it could all come crashing down faster than you can say Family Feud. Now, with Diddy's arrest and all these allegations coming to light, Steve is scrambling to distance himself from the mess. But here's the million-dollar question. Can Steve really claim he was just an innocent bystander dragged into something he didn't want to be part of? Or is this just another example of someone who's used their power and influence to cover up their own misdeeds?
Rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein type deal where he was filming everybody, right?
That's the rumors. Yeah, I don't know that there's any proof or anything other than that.
The longer Steve stays quiet, the more suspicious he looks. And as more details about Diddy's parties and the people who attended them come out, it's going to be harder and harder for Steve to keep his reputation intact. Here's the kicker. Steve's fate might depend on what happens with Diddy. If Diddy goes down, there's a chance he'll take others down with him. After all, Diddy has spent years building relationships with some of the most powerful people in the industry. If he's facing a lengthy prison sentence, he might be willing to cooperate in exchange for a reduced sentence. And Who's to say that Steve isn't one of the people Diddy might expose?
This has to be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of the incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold, austere facility.
So, while Steve might be breathing a sigh of relief now that he's cooperating with the feds, he might not be out of the woods just yet. As more pieces of the puzzle come to light, we'll likely see more names, more scandals, and more shocking revelations emerge. The question is, will Steve Harvey's name be one of them? As the dust settles, only time will tell how deep this rabbit hole goes. But one thing's for sure, both Steve and Diddy are playing dangerous games, and in Hollywood, no secret stays buried forever. So, what do you think, besties? Is Steve Harvey really the victim here, or has he been playing both sides all along? And how deep do you think Diddy's influence runs in Hollywood? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest tea. This is Sophie Scoop signing off. Stay fabulous, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye. Next.